Welcome to another episode of the Hodgy Podgy Podcast. I'm your host, Lauren Strati, and this is another episode of our Therapy Thursday. This episode, though, will be slightly different than our other episodes. It's going to be a little shorter, probably, and a little bit more lighthearted topic, but I still think just as helpful because this topic is something that we all deal with every day, and it can be really overwhelming and extra stressful. So I think that it's not as serious. We're not talking about grief or anything or depression or anything or any of those particular things. Those topics are still really important, and I don't want you to avoid those episodes because they're serious and because I still think they're extremely necessary. And I think it's very important that you guys know that you're not alone when you go through hard times. And that's all I'm going to say about that. But in this episode, I am talking about the do's, the don'ts, and the ifs. So it's the, if you do this, then it's good for you. If you don't do that, then it's good for you or it's bad for you. And if you do this or if you do that, you might die or you might live to be 100. All of these different things, especially in the age of technology and social media, there is an overwhelmingly huge amount of information out there about everything. And some of it's true, some of it's not. Some studies are correct, some are not. There's so much stuff out there, and we have so much going on in our lives. I feel like we've just learned to rely on other people or Google or whatever influencer we happen to like this week to tell us what to think and what to feel and what to do and what to eat because it's just easier. Because our brains are already so overloaded with everything else going on in our lives that we're just like, Google, tell me what to do about this, or hey, so-and-so on Instagram, tell me what to do about that, or what I should eat, or whatever. But at the same time, Google or Chat GPT or somebody on Facebook or Instagram tells you to do one thing, and then 5 minutes later, there's somebody else saying, don't do it. Whatever you do, don't do it. Don't eat it. Don't drink it. Don't wear it. Don't do it. And you're just like, well, what the hell am I supposed to do now? I know like lots of you have seen those reels where this is what kind of inspired me to do this episode, where there's somebody getting ready to make something and they're listening to something online and it's like, hey, if you eat this, it's great for you. And so they're getting like a bowl of avocados ready and to eat, and the next thing that comes on is like, don't do that, it'll cause you to die. And so they end up just this whole thing of different things they can't do, can't eat, can't drink. And so they just like, here's my bowl of air. Because it's just like, what the hell? What do I do? Nothing I do is right. So I'm going to give a few examples that I'm sure we all can relate to hearing and what we can really do about it. Because I feel like with all of these do's and don'ts and ifs, they can cause more damage than we realize. So there's so many different things. Like starting from even simple thing as drinking water. Remember when it used to be, make sure you get your 8 glasses of water a day. Now it's, you need to make sure that it's a gallon of water a day, or your body weight in water a day. Or if you drink too much water, this will happen, or this will happen. And, but if you do drink water, it needs to be this kind of water with this kind of filter. Not only that, but you have to have that filter for your entire house because your shower is going to fill your body with chemicals. And if you do this, or if you do that with water, like you're in trouble. And, or what time you're supposed to eat. Please don't eat before this time. Please stop eating before this time. Or if you don't do these 2 things, you will be obese. You will be this. You will be in trouble. You won't be you will age 10 years. Or sugar is addictive as cocaine. Or they say that sugar, you actually need sugar to function because you need it for your brain. And your brain actually needs sugar, and you shouldn't have to produce your own sugar. And it's needed and useful for dealing with stress. But then somebody else says, like, oh no, you can't have that. That's terrible for you. Have all these artificial sugars. They're better for you. But the other study says that artificial sugars will kill you. And there's so many different things, and you're just like, how the hell do I function in this world? Well, you can cold plunge. Cold plunge is the solution. That is what you need to do. Every day, buy yourself an extremely expensive pool that can keep you cold and get in it at 5 o'clock in the morning, and you can watch the sunrise, because that's what's best for you, to watch the sunrise while you're freezing in this cold plunge. That is how you will live to be 100. You'll have no wrinkles. You'll lose lots of weight. Cold plunge. Wait. If your body is too stressed, if you are in a stressed out state, if you are a female, cold plunging is bad. Don't do cold plunging. Cold plunging is the worst. Personally, for me, I'll never do cold plunging again. That was the absolutely worst thing I could do to myself, is go into cold water. I'm working on being less stressed, but during those times that I did the cold plunging, I was in a super stressed state. So it just went woo and caused my body to freak the F out. So if you are one of those people like me that was like, oh man, I can just take a cold shower and my immune system will be boosted and I'll feel so much better. Or I can just jump into the ocean. Like, the ocean's already so great. I can jump into the cold ocean and feel so refreshed. And oh my gosh, all of these benefits just seem to outweigh all the bad. And it's just so simple and easy and cheap. And if you're one of those people like me and you go into the ocean or the lake or you take the shower and then your body goes, what the F did you just do? And sends you into complete, like, hypothermia and pain, and your ribs hurt and you feel like you might die, yeah, that's a big sign that your body is too stressed to do cold plunging. So listen to yourself. You got to listen to your body. If you're like, my body reacts terribly to doing this, then don't do it. I don't give a rat's ass who said that it's beneficial. I don't care what the hell they look like. I don't care about any of that. If your body's saying no, then your body knows not to do it. And that's, I think, something that's really, really important for us, is to listen to ourselves. And with so much information, there's an abundance of it. It's insane, from all different sources. And like my husband says, there's literally a study saying that something is good and bad. Like, there's a study for everything. There's something, like, you can go on and search for something to be bad and to be good. Like, it's intermittent fasting. It's so amazing. It's so great. Intermittent fasting is terrible for you. It'll F up your hormones. Or when it comes to parenting, we need to make sure that our kids are independent and they learn how to do things on their own, but you want to be right there. Don't say no to your kids. Say this phrase, do this, do that. And you're just like, I don't know what to do. Or there's those people online that say, here are the top foods that you need in your life to help you. Caffeine will do these great things. Chocolate will do these great things. Avocados. And all of these foods have all these great benefits. Then you got this jackass over here who wants to ruin all the fun for everybody in the land, walking into a grocery store saying, hey, if people say that chocolate's good for you, that's bullshit. There's actually a guy out there that's done that. I stopped following him because it was terrible for my life. Because I need chocolate and I need caffeine and I need joy. and he tried to take it from me. So I stopped following him. So, but my point is, there's literally going to be somebody telling you that what you're doing is either amazing or what you're doing is terrible. And the fact is, and the point is, stop listening to them. And I need to take my own advice because I know, and my husband's like, you're telling this to the people, but will you listen to yourself? Because I am the queen of, I'm the queen of finding people to give me different solutions when a solution I think is best for me isn't working fast enough. And I know you guys are guilty of it too. Like, I am trying to do something a certain way, but then something will pop up and it'll be different than what I'm doing. So I'm like, what's this? Will it help me get to my destination faster? And I'll tell my husband about it, and he'll just be like, for the love of God, please stop doing that. It's not helpful. Just stick. Something told you to do it this way. Why are you listening to other people tell you to do it the other way? Because they're prettier and thinner than me. What the hell difference does that make? You don't have any idea. And this is what I have to remember. I don't have any idea what they have going on in their life. Or a lot of the time, they, like, when it comes to, like, fitness influencers, and it's funny, you'll discover if you're like me in any way, shape, or form, and you follow certain people and they're kind of like your gurus, and you're like, oh man, like everything they say is just like, yeah, like they look so amazing. They have this amazing life, the whole highlight reel thing on social media and whatever. But then you find out, like, you discovered different things about those people, and you're like, you've been beating yourself up for not being like them and not having the results that they do. And then you realize, oh, okay, they don't have children. They don't have children. They don't have pets. They have just, this is their job. This is their livelihood. Being online, like they have to look this way. They have assistants. They have all these other people to do all of these different things. And they have the money to do it. They have whatever else to do all of these different things. And you're sitting here beating yourself up for not being like them and just being yourself. And just be yourself. You don't have to. They have all these other resources at their fingertips and you don't. And that doesn't make you less. That doesn't make them better than you. It just means that you guys are just different. And so maybe instead of, and yes, I'm talking to my inner Lauren at the same time, maybe instead of following them constantly or like soaking in all their words like their life, give yourself some grace, give yourself a second, and think, is what so-and-so is telling me, or is what this article is saying, does it resonate with me? Is it clicking with me like that's right for me? Or is it like, fucking A, man, I don't want to have my water triple filtered and brought in by goats from the stream. Like, I just want to drink my water. I just want to eat. If it's 6:05 at night, I just want to eat my damn cookie. Or, oh no, dinner is running late. It's now 6:30. I was supposed to stop eating at 6. Oh, great. That's, my diet's screwed. I've gained 10 pounds already. I can feel it. And it's just like, it causes you that extra stress. And your body is smart enough to make you like kind of stop and think like, wait, if I eat at 6:30, is that really going to make me lose all my progress? Is that really going to make me gain weight? Or is stressing out about it so much going to be the cause of that? Is making my heart rate like go faster? Is feeling guilt about eating dinner with my family going to make me worse? Or is eating or is it the time that's going to make it worse? Do you know what I mean? Like, you have to start going back to thinking for yourself. And we've done a really good job of, and social media has its place. Yes, and it's great, but it's also done a very good job, and so has like the news and Google, whatever. It's all done a very good job of kind of erasing our instincts. It's taken away our ability to think for ourselves. And we just get so bogged down by trying to do things the right way, and because somebody else told us to do it, that it causes us so much stress, and it makes it hard to enjoy life. And we should just, what's right for you. Like, if you just stop and just shut everything out, take a deep breath, and think, okay, this is what I can do now. Like, I know that all of these people are saying if I walk 10,000 steps a day, I'll lose 10 pounds in 30 days. All of these, like, it'll reduce this, it'll do that. But you know what? My life is insane right now, and I think I can only get like 7,000 steps a day. Is that okay? Yes, it's okay. Do what you can now. If you can fit doing that goal, like walking the 10,000 steps or drinking that amount of water or whatever for you, or like, you have to be realistic with your goals for yourself, not for some guy on the internet or some chick who doesn't even know you exist. Like, to compete with them. You do what's right for you. You don't need some mommy blogger telling you that you can't tell your child no, or somebody on YouTube saying if you tell your child no, or if you say this particular phrase, they will grow up with massive childhood trauma and end up in therapy. Like, you know what? No, that's not going to happen. If you are just present there for your kid and you give them the boundaries and you tell them no, but they know that you love them, and you tell them sorry when you F up, like, they're going to be just fine. They just want their mom and dad. They just want unconditional love. It doesn't matter what wackadoo way you try and tell them no. Like, that doesn't matter. You're okay. You are doing a great job with your life. Just listen to yourself. Listen to that intuition. And it's that quiet little voice. It's not the loud one it's not the panicky voice. It's not the when your heart starts racing kind of, I'm freaking out. It's the quiet little voice that says, hey, it's okay. You are doing the best that you can. And if today wasn't a good day, let's think about what we can do tonight to make tomorrow a better day. How are we going to handle all of this stuff better tomorrow? Give yourself grace with everything you have going on in your life. There's always going to be somebody telling you that what you're eating is wrong. What you're drinking is wrong. How you're parenting is wrong. Or like, everything you're doing. And I've come across literally everything. Whatever, you're not having enough protein. You're having too much protein. Sitting is bad. Standing is bad. Your brain needs sugar to function. Sugar is death. Have carbs. Don't have carbs. Saturated fat is terrible for you. Saturated fat is actually the best for you. Everything is always going to contradict everything. And you just have to sit there and realize that, and people can say, well, everybody's DNA is quite similar. So if we all eat this thing, then we will all be healthy and blah, blah, blah. Harumph, harumph. No, we are all similar, but everybody's experienced a different trauma. Everybody handles stress differently. Everybody's hormones are different. Everybody's everything is different. Okay? We are not all the same. I do not handle stress the same way my husband does, or my kids, or anybody. I don't handle eating pizza the same way that my husband does. Like, we are all different. And you have to realize you're doing the best you can. It's totally okay if you F up. It's okay if you didn't hit your calorie goal or your step goal or whatever. It is okay. You have to give yourself some freaking grace. And I know we all have goals in our lives. We all want to get to be, a lot of us are working on our self-image, our body, and everything. Like for me, I'm trying to lose the stress weight and everything that, like all that, my body is like completely different than it was 3 years ago. And do I like it? I like some parts of it. Yes. Like I'm a little bit more feminine and I'm a little more curvy and my husband really loves that. But I look at myself when I'm brave enough to look without like any clothes on, and do I recognize this body of mine that I'm currently in? No, I don't necessarily love it, but I'm doing the best I can with it. And I think I've spent so much time, and I'm coming to you guys with this because I've experienced this over the last 3 years, especially, going through finding all these, like, I paid so many different coaches to help me fix me. Like, please fix me. This is wrong. I'm starting to gain weight. I have this reaction. Like, when I get stressed, I can't have cinnamon. I can't, like, be too hot, be too cold because my body freaks out. Like, somebody help me. Oh, well, do this, do that, do this, do that, do this. None of it worked. And it turns out I was too damn stressed. My body is still recovering from being too damn stressed. And it's something I have realized I have to fix within me. I have to basically readjust my levels, which is why I do meditation. It's something that works for me. I'm not saying it works for everybody. For me, though, it gives me time. It's non-negotiable, and I can like reevaluate what's going on with me. And like being stressed and having all of the different things that happened to me over the last 3 or 4 years, I'm handling, and my body is the way it is right now because it needs to be. It's protecting itself. It's hanging on to the extra stuff because it feels like it needs to protect me, and that's fine, and I accept it, and it'll drop off when it needs to. But trying to find somebody or some pill or some supplement or some powder or something to fix me has never fixed me. Do you see what I mean? Like, trying to look for somebody else outside of you to fix you isn't, and you're like, I have tried everything to change this or this or this. Have you stopped and just thought to yourself, okay, why do I think this is like this? Why have I been like this? Why has this happened? Why am I reacting like this? And I know a lot of us are busy and we're just like, shit, I just don't want to take the time to figure that out. If I can just have somebody online give me this powder that I can mix in my water and I can drink and that'll help me, that's what I want. I don't want to think about all of these other deeper issues. And I just want something else, someone else, some quick thing to fix me. That may work, but it may only work temporarily. And we have to get back to trusting ourselves. We really do. I feel like we're being pushed too hard by outside forces to do all these different things. Like, you've got to like work hard to play hard. You got to do this to do that. You got to blah, 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 blah. Like, you just have to live your life the best way that you can where you're at. And just, again, I cannot stress this enough. Learn to you have to start learning to listen to yourself again. And I feel like that is absolutely critical for us. Because it's so funny. Because I have known and I've told my husband, like, this is what I feel is right for me. I feel like I need to do this. Like, I feel like I've been pushing myself too much, so I'm going to change this habit of mine, or I'm going to do this. And he's like, okay, great. So 1 week later, so I saw so-and-so when I was on social media, and they said that I should do this instead. And he's like, what? You literally just said last week, like, you felt like you needed to do this thing. Why is so-and-so, why more important than than what you're telling yourself? Like, because they look like that. But they're not you. But they look like that, and they have all these clients that did all of these things. Like, yeah, those are who they show, babe. Like, they show all of the successes. They don't show all of the other people that were like, that it didn't work for. But you, and he's been very patient, and you have to be patient with yourself and be patient with your loved ones and whoever's struggling with all of this back and forth information like me. You have to be patient with yourself and everything, and just like, okay, just because they have all that success or whatever, we're only seeing a small snippet of what all of these people are doing, and we're only seeing the good. We're not seeing any of the other stuff. And we have to remember that. And if your body is telling you, if your gut is telling you to do something, if you're like really, really trying to stick to not eating after a certain time, but you are starving, or you've had like just a really effed up day, and you're like, you know what? God, I just want one bite of ice cream, but it's 7:05, and I was supposed to stop eating at 6:30. Have the freaking bite of ice cream. It's totally okay. Don't have the whole carton. Like, you just allow yourself that. Allow yourself, like, oh, I should really do this, but man, like, I really need some time for myself. Like, take the time. Take 2 minutes, 5 minutes, whatever. Just give yourself grace. Listen to your intuition. Stop listening to all of those other people that are getting paid lots of money by advertisers and whatever. And just know you're doing great. And if you feel like, I'm really not, Lauren, I'm really not doing great. I've had like 6 months of a really shitty streak going on. Like, okay, you're aware of it. That's great. You are aware that you could do better. What can you do better? And take the small steps. Don't jump and make yourself so overwhelmed by trying to take these huge steps. And if you feel like, oh, well, my eating habits could be better. I could be drinking better quality water. I could be, drinking more water. I could be doing this with my kids. I could be doing that with my spouse. I could be doing all of these things. I'm not saying that all of these people on the internet are wrong. Some are right. Some are wrong. Some work for you. Some won't. Like, I'm not saying that anybody's necessarily wrong. What I'm saying is, do what you feel clicks for you. So if you're like, man, like so-and-so said this about spending time with their spouse or doing this with my kids, and I felt that. But to try and get to that goal that they said on that video feels really overwhelming. Start small. Just start small. And just know that you're trying. And I feel like we don't give ourselves enough credit for trying. And at least we're doing what we can to be a better version of ourselves every day. And we don't need anybody online, anything on Google or anything like that to tell us that we're doing a good job. we're still here. We're still trying. We're still working on improving ourselves every way we can in this insane, crazy world. And that is great. So please, if there's one thing that you listen to, if you're like, well, you told me not to listen to anybody, and here you are online, are you one of those people? I know. But please listen to somebody that has experience with this. At the very least, grace, intuition, deep breath, and know that you are doing the very best you can, and that is great. You are still here. You are still loved. You are going to get to where you want to go. As long as you don't stop trying, and as long as you listen to yourself and you take the advice from people that you feel is right for you, no matter what else anybody says, you are going to be amazing, and life is going to just keep getting better. Just know that, believe it, and I love you guys so much. Thank you for tuning in to this episode. I hope it was helpful, and I'm going to try and do a little more lighthearted episodes every so once in a while and see how you guys like those. We'll still do the deep ones because they are very important, but it's okay. If it's 7:05 and you want to have the ice cream, go for it. If it's 5 o'clock in the morning and you're starving, have your breakfast. If you don't hit the 10,000 steps today, it's okay. If you told your kid no and you're working on not doing it, then try again tomorrow. It's okay. You guys are great. I love you so much. And we will see you again for Menagerie Monday. So have a good week, guys.